something different. This is a PlayStation 5 DualSense wireless controller, and my kid has pressed on these joypad dudes so much they are potentiometer based and totally destroyed the movement, and now we have the famous stick drift where it just starts moving and doesn't do anything. I have went on the old interwebs and I have bought some HAL Effect sensors. Now these HAL Effect sensors, after I swap them, will prevent stick drift because they are not a round disc of touch here to get there, and they were about $13 for 4. So I bought 8 of them because why not? You got to buy the ones specifically for your controller, and you can see here they are a superior controller with very good metal housing, plastic on the bottom, the 2 sensors, and we can then good spring return to center. We're going to put these in, but to do that we need to disassemble the PlayStation controller itself. We're going to start by using my iWalmart toolkit. I need to get this off, so I'm going to take some spudgers here. This is a professionally filmed video, by the way. Yeah! We're going to start by inserting our pick, or whatever you can, into the corner here. And sometimes it's this corner, sometimes it's this corner. I like to use the triangle guitar pick thing and just shove it into the corner and pry up. And it's going to sound nasty, but this is going to pop this free, and then you can kind of peel it and it'll sound like you're like my knees when I get up in the morning. And then a lot of times there's a clip right here in the center you can pop with your pick and just work your way around. And it's going to sound horrible. Continue to work your way around, and then finally that comes off. Now that we have this out, we have to pry the buttons off. Again, flip it around. Try not to turn your PlayStation on like me. Stick a spudger in here and pull down, and they should come right out. This iWalmart is not strong enough. There we go. There's one. We gotta pop the other one out. That one's a little friendlier. That pops out. Set those to the side. Now you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver. We're gonna remove this screw right here. Repeat your other screw removal on the other side. Go to the bottom here and you have 2 more on each side. On the side of this you're gonna see this line. Well, you're gonna wanna use your spudger again. Sometimes you can get it in the crack of the corner here and crack it open. Crack it open. Just kind of give it a little wedge. Now, depending on your child or ownership, this could be pretty gross. So just slide your spudger up each side. I got a clip here and a clip here. Oh, there we go. So with those, there we go. Pull your battery out and disconnect it. So just lift up on the battery. Here's your battery. Set that to the side. And you should be facing something, looking at something like this now. Small grabby tools, and we're going to be removing by pulling up on both of these pull clamps. These suck. You can reach in there, but I have to use pliers and pull them. So just pull them out. Make sure you're on the tab, not the ribbon itself. Pull these out. See how it has a plastic hard point? That's your push and your pull. Next we have the microphone. So your headset and microphone are little tiny 1, 2. So pull this out and this out, and then we're going to take this screw out right here, which will allow the backing to come off. All the screws are the same size, so now you can carefully lift this out of the way, set it aside, being careful of the ribbon cable that was attached to the battery hold down trace. Now you can finally get to the top pull tab to pull its ribbon cable out. Just carefully wiggle it and release it. Now, there's 2 wires right here for the rumble sticks that we're going to have to actually desolder. So what I like to do is just take a photo with your phone. There's no red on the bottom, but if you forget, take a photo. Now, you don't have to debraid these. What you can do is use simple soldering iron. This is a WEP 982.3 precision, and just touch it, and we're going to lift the wire off. You don't have to debraid it. You can just remove it like this. You can remove the other one too. Only takes a second. And repeat for the other side. All of your cables are free. There's rubber bumpers, and it will just come out. And just pop them off. And there is that's what we're working with. This skeleton crew can be set to the side. Here are our sticks. We're going to be replacing these sticks. Now to do that, we have to remove all the solder from both of these. Alright, we'll wiggle and it will remove. This is the original sensor, and this is the new HAL Effect sensor. Now you have to buy these for your controller, because PlayStation's got like 6 different controller models. The parts are all the same, but disassembly is a little different. So here you can clearly see on the right the potentiometer based, on the left the orange, the HAL Effect style. To install it, you just line up your holes, put it back in, and resolder it. And that is that. We're going to repeat this for the other side. And then we'll pop this one out. There we go. That's the other one. You are done with your soldering game. I'm a huge fan of the WepTools, WepTools.com. All of my soldering stations have been converted from Hacko, Weller, and everyone else to WepTools because they offer a superior product for a fraction of the cost. I am not sponsored. This is not a paid ad. I just share with what I use. And you can watch any one of my 500 plus videos, and all I do is rant and rave about their various machines that I use to fix various components and computers with. We're just going to give it a little clean. This is Super Hooch. It's 99.1% isopropyl alcohol, Amazon. And we'll just run a little bit of cotton swab, aka Q-tips, around the points where we soldered. Now you don't have to clean it. You're never going to be in here again. Hopefully this is a permanent fix until your child breaks the controller entirely or you throw it at the TV from anger rage. So now we have to do exact opposite of what we did before. So we're going to flip it over. Good time to clean out your gross controllers. Put them on your new pads here. They are keyed, so they will only go on one way. The Touchpad Pro part just sits there. There's nothing fancy about it. Now, we got to shove all this back in here. But this thing, we're going to shove in here. I got to make sure I put it in the right way. Okay, so we're going to go in like this. So my bar's got to go to the left here. Put that down in there. That'll work. Move our battery posts, our battery wires out of the way. And this little wire right here and this up here. You gotta be careful that when you shove this back in here. So carefully do a little, just drop it in, and then we're gonna fish our cables out ever so carefully out of the way. Just to make sure the battery lines are out of the way. The little camera wire is out of the way, and the ribbon cable up here is out of the way before you go drop it in, because you click this into its locks and you got all your stuff not where it needs to be. You'll have to take it back apart. So then push this down. Make sure your pad is now clicking. That means you dropped your thing in the correct way. It is on the rubber mounts, and now you can start reassembling your cables. Remembering that the red was on the bottom based on your photo. You can use tweezers if you want to hold them in place. That's one. That's two. You'll see how I kind of got it angled up there. Repeat for the other side. So with our part clean, when you put this in, do you see these two tabs right here? They have to go like up underneath. So stick them in there first, okay? Stick these up in here. Otherwise they'll be on top and you'll have this nub. So you see the right one, how it's underneath? You want to make sure the other one's underneath too. And then shove them up in there. So it should look like this. Not with this plastic piece over the top. So push them up in there and then just click it in place. And there you go. 2 Hall Effect sensor. Never gonna lose sync. Never gonna lose calibration. Never gonna have stick drift. And we're gonna do a calibration. I'm gonna show you where to get the software. Sony doesn't let you do this on their consoles like a lot of the other consoles let you do. Alright, here we are on the PS5 calibration GUI. Put the link in the description below. You're gonna need yourself a USB-C cable. So on the PS5 calibration GUI, plug this into your computer, let it detect your controller. DualSense wireless controller, connect. Now, you see how this stick drift is off? These are new, they're off. So we're going to calibrate the controller. So we're going to do calibrate the stick center. So I can move this around, see? Left stick, right stick. You see how it's a little off? We're going to pull that in here. So we're going to calibrate the stick center. Welcome to the stick center. This will guide your recentering of the analog as to move in a certain direction. Please be aware that once calibration is running, it cannot be canceled. If you disconnect your controller, you brick it. Start. Move both sticks to the top left corner and release them. 1, 2, and release them. Continue. You can see it moving down here. Move both sticks to the top right and release them. Move to the bottom left and release. Bottom right and release. Now my sticks are centered. Calibration completed successfully. You can check the calibration with the gamepad tester. We'll say gamepad tester. Connect your gamepad buttons to begin. Alright, detected the vendor, and I can go, there we go, we are perfectly centered. We have an error rate of 0.01. And then we say save changes permanently. Changes are saved. You're done. That's it. You just upgraded a PlayStation 5 controller to Hall Effect sensors. They're never going to lose, they're never going to drift, and then you're done. When you disconnect, site quits. It's DualShock-tools.github.io. And you have a Hall Effect sensor that's never going to lose its stick drift, and your child can beat the living crap out of it and be happy. These old potentiometer based ones are Sony's Achilles heel. A Hall Effect sensor is like $2. But that would I would rather pay an increased price to have Hall Effect sensors. Sony does have a new controller out that has replaceable pads, potentiometer based. Pull this off, they slide out and go back in. But Sony has conveniently been out of stock on these forever. So save your headache, save your controllers, save $70 every 3 months. Pick yourself up some Hall Effect sensors. Links for PS5 in the description below. If you have an Xbox One or Xbox Series, whatever, same thing. You can do Hall Effect sensors in the Xbox controllers as well as the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 controllers and save them. They'll last a lifetime. That's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something.
What do you know from funny, you bastard?